We love her. She's on the show every single week breaking down our SEC news. Please give it up for Kelsey Farese. What's up, girl?
What's up, guys? Y'all
How are you?
had a great week.
Oh, Miami. Oh, we're gonna have continuous great weeks for 12 weeks in a row because I predicted at the beginning of the season 12-0. So
But you jumped your rankings, didn't you? Y'all are ranked.
Look, Kelsey, we take it one game at a time. Rankings don't matter.
Climbing.
We just want to be 1-0 every week.
I feel that so much.
So what you got for us this week?
Yeah, just a quick recap on last week. We have to say my scores were not that far off on the LSU UCLA game. I feel like y'all thought I was crazy. I predicted that they were gonna win 17-34, and they won 28-22. So
yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty. So you got one game right.
Yeah, I got one game right. I did not get and actually I got two games right. I got the Tennessee beat Oklahoma at Oklahoma. Not the most warm welcome to the SEC for Oklahoma. I think that's putting a big chip on their shoulder, though, that we'll get to see a little bit more about this week. But then,
I will say, man, Tennessee, they're looking great. I mean, they got a defense this year. That team is looking great.
I think they're good.
Yeah.
And
I'm hoping to get to Knoxville for the Florida game, actually. I think it's October 12th. So we'll see. I'm talking to my little connects over there to see if we can make some fun content. If they can.
Why would you go to that game when Florida is going to get bashed?
Well, that's kind of the reasons I'm like, I don't like to go when. Well, I'm already trying to go to the hardest game on earth, the Georgia-Texas game. So I'm trying to ease my way in to when I'm traveling and make it a little bit easier for me.
Network
maneuver.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, and it's a good time to visit when it's I've actually never like been to a game in Knoxville. So I feel like it's a good time to go when you know you're going to win. So everyone's in a good mood and the stress is low.
That's true. Forrest, you were going to say something?
Just before people jump in the comments, you had the scores for LSU. You had them revert. You said 28-22 and it was 34-17. You had the right numbers. I just went back and checked because I know people think, I'm just defending you. That you had.
Thank you for protecting me. Yes, sorry, I have them right next to each other on my screen set up. But then the other game.
What's the next game?
And then the game I got wrong, the Arkansas Auburn game. Arkansas was able to get the W at home on Auburn. And there's been quite a bit of drama about this game. I don't know if you guys saw, or maybe you don't get served this stuff since you aren't Ole Miss fans, but Bo Wallace was the quarterback at Ole Miss under Freeze. And he took to Twitter on Saturday night and sort of blew things up. He was basically saying that after the post-game press conference that Freeze was notoriously throwing his quarterbacks under the bus. And he was saying, instead of taking the responsibility, saying we should have coached them better, that instead he was being like, just letting them take the full blame. And he said, but if they had won, he would have been taking all the credit. Oh, we coached them up. We had them ready to go. So it sort of exploded. People were just going crazy. And he went on a full tangent after that, basically saying that Freeze would have him, that he had his health was always at risk and that Freeze didn't care. So it's been a little spicy. Overall.
So wait a minute. Freeze is throwing the quarterback under the bus. The quarterback has health issues as well?
Well, Bo Wallace is the one tweeting, and he was the quarterback at Ole Miss under Freeze. And so he was saying that when he was quarterback, that he would be very injured and that Freeze would just have him shot up with stuff and be like, get out there.
Got you.
Okay. And that he always felt like he would get thrown under the bus also. So I think he was sympathizing with Thorne and Brown this week, getting thrown under the bus during that post-game press conference.
You know what coach I love is the USF coach. His press conference before and after the game was phenomenal. He took the blame. He was like, hey, he wasn't a coach that's like, we need to play better. He goes, hey, we had the right defenses called. It's just they were making plays. That Cam Ward, he goes, I hate to keep going. That dude is special. And I love that. I love that about a coach. But I'm also old school. I came from where our parents called us out if we did something wrong. I don't have a problem if a coach coaches somebody up and they don't read it right. It's like, yo, we coached him up, he didn't execute. I kind of don't have a problem with that either. It's like, yo, why am I going to take the blame? Like, well, I could have coached him. No, he knew what he was supposed to do. Like, that's the problem with, to me, like, this goes into way bigger than football. But when a coach has to stand there, it's like, yo, we told him he was going to see this, and he still threw it to the wrong area. Hey, look, he didn't play well. I didn't coach well. He didn't play well. We all sucked. But I don't know. That's my take.
I feel like coaches, especially now with social media, like the airing of grievances is pretty much like instantaneous. So I feel like that stuff just probably rolls off their back. They're like, another day, another dollar. Like,
I don't think so. I think with everybody attacking coaches left and right on social media, it gets to them. It gets to them. It gets to the players. And it's a thing where it's hard to deal with. Because when I played college football for Arkansas, literally you heard no fans. Unless you met them, you know what I mean? Yeah. And they had their grievances with you.
Unless you literally heard them from the sidelines.
Yeah, you had to literally see them. They didn't call you. Now it's everywhere, man. It must be so tough.
Yeah, maybe that's why, and maybe that is why Bo Wallace was sort of like getting his back up and like trying to support Thorne and them, because maybe he was saying it is like a completely different time, even compared to when he was there, that when not even your feels like your coach is on your side and you have that whole internet, like the void just like coming at you, maybe it is just like too much. I don't know.
But I will say there's a lot of coaches that would have took that blame. And here's the thing with the kids today. And I'm calling these guys kids because they're 18, 19, 20 years old, and I'm old. You can't coach these kids like you used to either. Like you can't yell certain times. Like certain players need to be coached a certain way, and I get that too. So for a coach to go up there, even though he coached a player right, he has to kind of take the fall. And I don't think that's right, but you have to do it in today's society, or your player could transfer because he doesn't like you, and then you won't have a quarterback. So there you go.
You said it well. You said it well last week, or maybe the week before, that like, especially these SEC teams coming into these really hard schedules, it's all about that relationship between the quarterback and the coach. 100%. So I think that's going to be a big difference as we get into the really hard schedules. We're going to see how those relationships really come into play.
And that's why I think Lane Kiffin is so good with quarterbacks, because he just loves offense. He loves his quarterbacks, and that's why he always has a great relationship with them. All right, what's the big game this week, Kelsey?
So I've got my eye on a few games this week. I obviously am going to be watching Ole Miss playing Kentucky just because it's Ole Miss's first SEC game. It's going to be an early one for me. I think I have to get up at like 9 a.m. to watch that game. I'm not nervous, but Kentucky's defense, it looks like an NFL defense. They're really good. So I think this is going to be the first time that we're going to get to see Ole Miss like play like a team that's actually closer to their level, or even like in the same realm as them. So I think it's going to be really fun to watch. I'm a little bit nervous. But like I said, like you were saying, Lane and his relationship with Jackson Dart's really good. I got to spend some time with them the last time I was home, and it's just really fun to see kind of the atmosphere and the culture that they have there. And although I did get in a little bit of trouble with them because of y'all. Oh yes,
what happened?
I did. Well, the little clickbaity picture we had where Rudy had made with Lane with the Gators visor on, and I'm like next to it with my mic, like,
oh my God, yeah.
They saw me post that, and I got some DMs. I got some DMs from the players, and they were like, Kelsey? They were like, what are you doing? Why would you do this? And it almost was the energy like I knew something they didn't know. I'm like, aren't y'all literally in the locker room about to play right now? Like, what are you doing?
That's hilarious. Okay. See, Forrest, we're in their locker room, Forrest.
That's right. Yeah, we're all in the locker rooms.
Our podcast is getting into people's locker room. Well, what Rudy made that because we were talking about Lane, the rumors Lane going to Florida. But to all you Ole Miss fans that are watching, I don't apologize for that. But I'm sure Kelsey does apologize. But she had no control of the artwork, so just know that.
Hey, it got them to click in though. I was like, hey, click the link. You'll see. You've got to watch the content, man. You'll know what we're talking about.
So give me a score on the Kentucky Ole Miss game.
Okay, let me see. I said Ole Miss is going to win 27-14.
Ole Miss 27-14. Wow. Forrest, what do you think?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of the Kentucky's defense, like you said, especially against Georgia and stuff like that. And I think, like I said, Dart is and Cam Ward, they're neck and neck right now statistically, 1-2 in various categories. You guys, I think the quarterback play is going to win out in the end, but I think it'll be pretty tight, low scoring. I'm going to say 23-10.
23-10.
Yeah.
Well, Mark Stoops, he's one of my friends. I've known him forever. Great defensive coordinator. That's how he made his name. He was the defensive back coach for Miami, went to Florida State, was their defensive coordinator. So defense is not going to be a problem for Kentucky. Yeah. It's hard, though, to contain receivers for a whole game. It's just to contain talent for that long. It's kind of like Miami USF. They contained it to a certain point for the first half, but then talent wins at the end. It's going to be hard for Stoops to do it for that long, especially when you're dealing with receivers because they get so many pass interference calls. It's hard to get to the quarterback. So, you know what? If there is an upset this weekend, this is the upset.
Oh.
But, I could see like a 35-17 game. Ole Miss, just because they'll break loose in the fourth quarter, and they can score a lot faster than Georgia can because Georgia likes to do it on the ground. So that it's just hard to contain teams. It's like hard to contain Miami because they got so many weapons. And Ole Miss, regardless of the Jackson, I think this is where we find out how good Jackson Dart is, though, right now. You know what I mean?
I feel like they're conditioned really well. They're very explosive. They play super fast, and their pace is kind of crazy to keep up with for that.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, yeah. So I think, it may be at the beginning, but then I think they're just going to take it away. So I really hope this isn't the upset. That is going to be a dagger.
Let me tell you, I hope it's an upset because I love Kentucky and I love Mark Stoops. All right, what's next?
Just because of the drama going on, I think Oklahoma is going to be playing Auburn. Auburn's going to have another chance to try to get a win at home. But I think that Oklahoma, I think they've got a big chip on their shoulder because I think they're already looking ahead to playing Texas. And I think they're like, we're not going into SEC play 0-2. Like we're going to win this game. So also, of course, with all the quarterback drama still going on up until like filming right this second, Farese said it's still a battle in the quarterback room of who's going to start. So we'll see. That's going to be an interesting one. But
I think this. What's your score?
I have Oklahoma winning 37-21.
See, I don't think it's even going to be close. Forrest, you can go after me on this one. I think this is going to be a blowout. I think Oklahoma's going to blow them out. Remember, Cal beat Auburn, and everybody thought that was something. And then Cal loses to Florida State. Oh. So let's just think about that for a second. I think it's going to be a blowout. I say Oklahoma 42-10.
Yeah, 38-10 is where I'm at. I think the same thing. I think Auburn's very good. Oklahoma, like you said, they got to get that win. They're going to come out motivated. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about the big game, Georgia, Alabama.
Every TV probably in the country is going to be tuned to this game, Alabama versus Georgia. I can't believe that we're getting a matchup like this kind of so early in the season. It's going to be crazy. I also am just curious to see how this is going to affect the rankings and all that, depending on which way it goes. It's going to be a very interesting game. Alabama, super talented, obviously, on the offense. I think they're going, gosh, I really don't know. This is kind of one I keep going back and forth on because also, Georgia's offense has been playing extremely well. Carson Beck hasn't been, I think he's been sacked one time this season. He hasn't thrown an interception. He's been playing really well, despite some of, the scores like you were talking about the Kentucky game earlier. I really don't know. What are your thoughts on this? I feel like I need guidance. I don't know.
Forrest?
I think Alabama's going to win this game. I feel like this is.
Is it at Alabama or Georgia?
Alabama. In Tuscaloosa.
Okay. It's at Alabama. Alabama, not that they've been terrible.
Uh-oh. We lost Forrest.
We lost him.
We lost Forrest.
He must have had some insider information that he
got cut off. They were like, he knows too much. He knows too much. All right, I'll give you my take. If it's at Alabama, I think Georgia. Look, I don't watch the SEC that much. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I've seen both teams play. Miami played USF. Alabama played USF. That's the only comparison I have on it. I would say Alabama's great. Georgia's better. I think Georgia goes into Alabama and beats them. I think Georgia plays their best game of the year so far. So, but a very close 28-25, something like that, or a 38-35 game. That's what I see. Give me a score, Kelsey.
I'm actually going to say Alabama. Since they're at home, I'm going to say Alabama's going to win 32-21.
32-21. All right. Forrest, he just disappeared. I don't know what happened to him, but we love you, Forrest. Hopefully you can come back one day.
We miss you. We love you.
How can people find you, Kelsey?
Guys, y'all can find me on Instagram. It's just my name, @KelseyFarese. Or you can listen to my podcast. I do it with my dad. It's called The Lawyer's Daughter, true crime podcast. It's fun. It's a good time.
All right. Thank you, Kelsey. We'll see you next week.
All right. Bye, guys.